Hello everyone and welcome back to Full House Sports here with myself, Charlie. Right, something that has caught my eye in European football, because as you know, I'm a massive fan of European football from Calcio Corda, is the plight of German side Borussia Monchengladbach, who currently sit last in the Bundesliga, which is something that is quite incredible for a side that as recently as the 2020-21 season were in the last 16 of the Champions League. For a club the size of Monchengladbach, who of course have also been runners-up in the European Cup as well, to be where they are, bottom. They lost 6-4 at the weekend to Eintracht Frankfurt. That's flattering to them, to be honest. Frankfurt raced ahead into the lead and sort of gave up, I guess, with Gladbach scoring 4 against them. It's quite incredible, really, to see that and where they are now and compare it to what they were, like I say, a few seasons ago. Remember, this was a club that had the players like Marcus Thuram, Jan Sommer, Ramsey Bensebaini, just to name 3 off the top of my head, who were very good players and have now been sold on for big fees. And now Gladbach find themselves loitering down the bottom. Now, it should be pointed out this isn't uncommon in German football. One of the German clubs that I particularly like, Hamburg, they were relegated a few seasons ago despite being the dinosaur, having the proud history of never being relegated. They were relegated. Werder Bremen have fallen down. Schalke, they as well have fallen and are still down there. Hertha Berlin have gone down and have not got back up. It's a theme in German football of these big clubs sometimes getting relegated, but it's quite shocking because, like I say, the players that they've sold in recent years, Ko Itakura as well as another one, is quite incredible. They've not clearly reinvested very well, and they've sort of bought players from in and around them from clubs that have been getting relegated. And the worry is that these players are sort of finding the shirt too big to wear. They're being drowned in the shirt. Gladbach did sack their coach Gerardo Sione recently, and it's unsure yet who the replacement is going to be. I know Erik ten Hag was rumoured. He does still own an apartment in that area of Germany. Of course, Gladbach's not too far from Leverkusen. Ten Hag still owns a property in Dusseldorf. That could potentially come of use to him. Whether that will happen, I don't know. But it was something that just really interested me, to be honest, because like I say, it's a trend in German football now where these bigger sides are not always guaranteed safety. You know, we sort of look at it in England and say sometimes sides are too good to go down, but we've seen it in our own league. You know, we've seen Leeds, my club, Forest, others as well fall down and not be able to get back up. But I think Gladbach are an example of what could happen if you get stuck too deep in the culture of just selling your best players all the time and not adequately replace them. You can't always rely on finding gems, so to speak. And there's a few clubs like Gladbach who are probably in that position. I think every year we think that Brighton or Brentford in England are going to be the same, but they seem to sometimes pull out the bag these great players. Gladbach, I think, is struggling to do that. And it's something that they're going to struggle to turn around. They did have, of course, Max Eberl, who is now who is now Bayern Munich sporting director. He was there for a few years before leaving, and it felt like he ran the club quite like a tight ship, and he ran it with a great deal of expertise. Judging for the fact he's now Bayern Munich director of football, that's quite easy to see that. But like I say, they are a huge club. It's one to keep an eye on. It's a story to keep an eye on. Like I say, previously European giants, football fans of a certain age will remember the era of when they were competing in the semi-finals and the final of the European Cup. But even recently in the 2010s, they were somewhat Champions League and certainly European football regulars. And as recently, like I say, as 2020-21, they were in the Champions League knockout stages. But they are really struggling. So it's quite peculiar, really, what they do. They've still got an interim coach in charge, and they may just need this international break to get things sorted and in place. But it's a trend in German football, and I think Borussia Monchengladbach might be the next ones to fall foul of it, which is huge clubs with massive membership bases going down to the Bundesliga's way. But anyways, guys, let us know what you guys think. It is definitely a story to keep an eye on. Thank you very much as always for watching. Have a great day. Thank you.